Ladies and gentlemen, Dejounte Murray was just traded to the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, my first thoughts of this trade, because I'm pretty sure anybody in the basketball world would tell you that this was coming, that Dejounte Murray was getting traded. The thing is, we thought Alex Sarr was going to go to the Hawks, and then we thought Brandon Ingram was going to get traded to the Atlanta Hawks as well. So you have a team of Trae Young, Brandon Ingram, Alex Sarr, Jalen Johnson, and you just figure out who you're going to put at the two-guard position. But no, Alex Sarr does not work out with the Hawks. Therefore, they draft Zachary Reese-Shea, and now you trade Dejounte Murray, and bringing back Brandon Ingram does not make sense because that's overlapping with Zachary Reese-Shea, the number one pick in the draft. So this does not rule out Trae Young being traded, in my opinion. I think Trae Young can still get traded before the offseason, because if we look at it, a lot of teams are gearing up for the draft next year. A lot of teams are gearing up for the 2025 draft. We've seen it with the Nets. It looks like we're seeing it with the Hawks. I'm not ruling out a Trae Young trade now. I'm not ruling it out. And every time Atlanta makes a move, it looks like they're gearing towards letting Trae Young go. Is it just me? Is it just me? Can somebody let me know in the comments if they feel the same way? Can somebody let me know in the comments if they feel the same way? Now, Atlanta, they got back Dyson Daniels. They got back Larry Nance Jr. They got back the 2025 Lakers pick, and they also got a pick best from the Pelicans and Bucks in 2027 first round pick. So you get 2 first round picks. You get Dyson Daniels, who's a very good young defensive talent, and you get Larry Nance, who is now your third rotational center. I think Clint Capella's gone. I think Bogdan can be gone, and I also think Trae can be gone. So you can start this rebuild very nice with a number one pick in Zachary Reese-Shea and a most improved player candidate in Jalen Johnson. This draft next year better be good. It better be good, because the way people are gearing up now to try and put themselves in the best position to go get a guy like Ace Bailey, to go get a guy like Cooper Flagg, to go get a guy like Dylan Harper or VJ Edgecombe, or whoever you want to put it. This is crazy. This is crazy. And the one thing I learned from this trade, because we all saw a trade coming where Dejounte Murray could be gone. It doesn't matter if it was the Pelicans. It doesn't matter if it was the Lakers. It doesn't matter if it was the Miami Heat. We all knew that Dejounte Murray had a very big chance of not being Atlanta in October. So what I look at this as, Trae Young might be out of here. Trae Young might be out of here. And why I say that is, I think if the Atlanta Hawks really wanted to compete with Trae Young, you're not going to ask for 2 second-round picks in a project in Dyson Daniels for your number 2 guy, a guy that you let go a bunch of picks for. Because if we look at it, there have been rumors that the Cleveland Cavaliers are trying to trade Jared Allen and Darius Garland. I don't think the Cleveland Cavaliers go and ask for some first-round picks, some young talent next to Donovan Mitchell and Evan Mobley. You don't want that. You don't want that if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. You don't want that at all. So I feel as though we are getting to a point where Trae Young might just be out of Atlanta, and we really might see him go play with Wembanyama. Now, I don't know if this is just an instant reaction. This is just an instant reaction. So this is just me talking off the top of my head. Everything I'm saying in your head might be completely wrong. It might be completely wrong, but this is just me thinking fast, just thinking how this works for Atlanta. I think this was a good trade if you're trying to rebuild. You obviously have your forwards of the future in Reese-Shea and Jalen Johnson. You also get Dyson Daniels, who I think can play the 2, and he can be your point of attack defender. You have Onyeka Okongwu, who is probably one of the most efficient players per 36 minutes in the league. He hasn't gotten his chance. It looks like he's probably going to get his chance this season. And now you have Trae Young. That's the question mark. I think the Atlanta Hawks, and Joel Moran said it best. Shout out to Joel Moran. You got lucky in the most unlucky time ever. You get the number 1 pick when your odds were not close to getting the number 1 pick. But if you would have had it in 2023, we're partying. If you would have had it in 2022, we're partying. If you would have had it in 2021, we're partying. If we would have had it in 2025, we're partying. But this draft, you're excited to get the number 1 pick, of course. But there's a obvious gap between last year's draft and having the number 1 pick and this year's draft and having the number 1 pick. So why not try and put yourself in the best position to go win a championship? Trae Young cannot be the guy on the championship team. He cannot be the guy. Love Trae Young. Trae Young is one of my favorite players in the league, but I can sit here and say Trae Young cannot be the guy on the championship team. He takes bad shots. He's undersized. He's a defensive liability. His efficiency is dog crap. I do not like Trae Young as a number one on a championship team. Where are you going to get that number one? Trae Young is not the guy that's going to be like, yeah, we're going to be bad enough to secure a top 3 pick in the draft next year. It's not going to happen. Take Risashe, take the growing pains, keep Jalen Johnson, let him be your number one, let Onyeka Okongwu finally get his true chance to be a high-level starting big man that I think he can be. Now, let's talk about the New Orleans Pelicans, who were the 5th seed in the Western Conference before Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram got hurt. They inevitably fell to 8th and got swept in the first round with no Zion Williamson against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, you draft Yves Missi, who's going to be a very big project player. You trade away Larry Nance, who is, I think, your only center in rotation. I think you have to re-sign Zeke Naji. Jonas Valanciunas is probably gone because you just added a big contract in Dejounte Murray. So now let's say your starting lineup next year could be Dejounte Murray, Herb Jones, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, and Yves Missi. One, applaud to the New Orleans Pelicans. I want to applaud the New Orleans Pelicans for the simple fact you kept Brandon Ingram. You kept Brandon Ingram. So now you have 3 guys who can terrorize your defense. If you can add 4, if you keep CJ McCollum. And from reports from Woj, it looks like the Pelicans want to stick with CJ McCollum. That's what the tweet said. I'm trying to find the tweet right now as we speak. Let's see. Here it is right here. The New Orleans Pelicans were 0-24 when trailing entering the 4th and 2-14 in close games and see Murray as a player who can generate offense late in games. Pels remain committed to the core that includes Zion Williamson, CJ McCollum, and the Pels are trying to figure out common ground with Brandon Ingram's contract. Now, I don't know if CJ McCollum starts next to Dejounte Murray. In my opinion, I'm not even thinking about it. CJ, you're going to take a seat on the bench and you're going to be the best 6th man in the league. Because we've seen what Dejounte Murray is on defense. We've seen what he is on defense. So we're going to put him at that point guard spot. We're going to let our all defensive first team player play next to him who can shoot 40% from the 3, and we're going to rock out like that. We're going to have the spacing. Trey Murray, CJ McCollum, those guys are going to come in. They're going to knock down some shots. Zion Williamson is going to have all the spacing in the world to do whatever he wants to do. Brandon Ingram better figure it out. The Pels are going to be dangerous, and this defense is going to be sick. It's going to be suffocating. The Pels are going to be one of those teams where it's like, man, I'm not picking them to go to the finals, but you don't want to see that team. You don't want to see that team, man. You don't want to see that team. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about the trade in the comments. If you guys like this type of content, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.